Hello everybody, welcome to the Maharashtra Radio. Today's date is August 15th, 1957, the Independence Day. The exact year of independence was August 15th, 1947, which is a decade ago. It just turned 3 p.m. now, and it's time for a new interview. Commemorating our 10th year of independence, we have a very special guest, our former President of India and unsung hero, Mr. Rajendra Prasad. Please welcome with a big applause. Hello. Hi, Mr. Prasad. It's very nice to meet you, and it's very nice to have you at an interview. Well, thank you for inviting me to such an awesome interview, too. Well, you're welcome. Today, we're going to discuss about the 3 effects that the British imperialism has affected our nation, India. We already had decided on the 3 topics. They are culture, economy, and nationalism. I'll ask you some questions about these 3 effects, and you're going to have to answer these questions for us. Okay, alright. I just hope I'm knowledgeable enough about this. Maybe. So, Mr. Prasad, starting the first question, can you please tell about how the British imperialism has had an effect on our Indian native culture? The British humiliated our culture, debased it, and ignored it. They destroyed our own native culture and language and replaced them with theirs. They had no cultural acceptance that it seemed obvious that they did all these on purpose. One big proof is a glorious Sepoy rebellion. The evil British have greased our weapons with cow and pig fat, which were sacred to Hindus and Muslims the Sepoy troops were consisted of. Another humiliation I remember is that the British set up European-only zones in parks, clubs, railroads, and cars. Us native Indians were not allowed to enter any of those places unless they were servants of them. The diabolic actions they had taken will not be justified by any way forever, and they will pay for this one day. Wow, you're very knowledgeable about this topic. How do you think the British imperialism had an effect on the Indian economy? All I know is that they caused poverty in a working nation, Shudras. Could you tell us more about this, please? The economy was one of the biggest parts that India was affected on by the British. After the Industrial Revolution, the British passed a law forbidding the sale of Indian goods anywhere in the world, including India. Therefore, the British got to earn a lot of money from us, and many of us lost their manufacturing jobs and transferred into farming jobs to grow crops for the British. At the same time, they exploited us by raising taxes. This caused poverty and famine in the working class of India, and the poverty is still continued until now after 10 years of independence. Wow, that is very interesting. And you seem very tired. How about we take a rest for 5 minutes for some drinking orange juice? Dear audience, we're going to come back after 5 minutes with more vigorous Mr. Prasad.
5 minutes later.
Dear audience, we are back, and we're in the middle of our interview with Mr. Prasad, and we're running towards the last topic of our interview. Mr. Prasad, how do you think the British imperialism has affected the emergence of the nationalism in India?
What I have realized after living a longevity of life and looking at many different occasions of imperialism is that it provokes nationalism in the imperialized nations. Our nation, India, was not an exception. The British imperialism caused many nationalist and nationalist movements in India, such as the boycotts of British goods. Clothes, for example, was one of the biggest source of income of the British, and they were boycotted by Mahatma Gandhi and his followers. This movement was a big counterattack against the British. As more and more nationalist movements emerged, nationalist organizations were also formed, which furthermore led to our independence. You see, without nationalism, our people would have stayed as pet dogs of the British until now. I consider loving our own nation and ourselves was the key to our independence, reaching for the same goal with our own powers all combined.
Wow, that is amazing. You have taught us a lot, Mr. Prasad. You answered our questions very thoroughly, and that is very kind of you. I hope to see you again next sometime. Thank you for answering our questions and coming to this interview. Well, you're welcome. I hope to see you next time too. And you guys too. See you next time. Bye.